What's good, guys? It's CSG, and today we have another episode of Apes Addict with myself and my co-host Venomore. What is up, my man? How you feeling today?
Feeling good, bro. Excited to get good.
Yeah, I think the topics we have today are actually really fun. I think there's a couple that are like near and dear to our heart, so I'm actually really excited to see where this conversation goes today, man. Let's actually not waste any time. Let's just jump straight into it. So the first thing here is this post about Avatar. So Avatar obviously is like a huge IP, and it's actually quite similar in regards to like aesthetic to Illuvium, which is cool. But obviously the Avatar movie was amazing. They took a massive break between production of the first one and the second one. The second one's meant to be coming out pretty soon, right? Do you know? It's like this year or next year?
So the second one is coming out in December of this year. So it's soon. Very, very soon.
Yes.
As for the actual game, it was supposed to come out together with the movie release, but they're actually having to delay it, I think, to like the first few months of next year, maybe even April, something like that.
Yeah.
I looked into this, and this is actually really cool. So they've been working on this game, I think, for like 3 or 4 years. So they put a lot of time and effort into it. James Cameron hasn't like been over possessive about it. He literally said that like we as the movie making team literally just helped them with like information and like lore within the game, but apart from that, like the game studio has been like building it like pretty much independently and with like methods of building that are pretty much just cutting edge and like never done before. And it's going to be like an open world RPG type situation. I'm not sure if it's MMO, but it's definitely like super open world. And the thing I found really interesting is that instead of like creating this game and then in future making another Avatar game, what they actually plan to do is somewhat Illuvium like, in the sense that when they have so I think they plan to actually release more Avatar movies maybe every year after that, which is like, I'm like, what? That's insane. It's like what Star Wars did, right? Like they didn't release shit for ages, and then they stacked 5 movies in 5 years. So something like that. And with every new movie, they're gonna add basically a whole expansion to the game and actually like increase the game. I'm not sure if it's like you pay for these. I don't know how that works.
Yeah.
But like that seemed like a pretty exciting concept. Like they're not just scrapping the old.
I think it makes sense, man, and I think it makes it easier for them as well. Like build like a base. One thing I'm actually very curious about is whether it's going to be an actual open world RPG or like a story based narrative driven game. Because narrative driven games like Horizon West, honestly, I've never played it. I'm just assuming, but I think like it's what's a story based game that I played, like a Persona. It's like, all right, you start, you finish. It's narrative driven, and once you're done, you can't just free play and run around, not like a GTA. So if it's kind of like that, I think it's kind of dead. When I say dead, I don't mean it's dead. I mean like it's like the longevity isn't going to be there. But if it is open world, yes, 100%. In regards to the expansions, I think that's a really, really good way of doing it. The same way like World of Warcraft has pretty much done it, where you build that base set, that base layer where everyone's kind of living on top of it, and then you add onto that. It just makes more sense. And in regards to like, are we going to have to pay for it? It's Web 2, so 10,000%. Yes, we are going to have to pay.
There'll be some kind of payment, but it might be like microtransactions and free to play. We obviously just don't know until we know. But what I'm interested in as well is that I don't think it is like narrative. I think it's more like sort of what Hogwarts Legacy is trying to do for.
I mean, Hogwarts Legacy is somewhat narrative, though, man. It like because at the end of it, like, well,
it's
think
still
about
just
it.
single
like,
player, right?
Yeah, and think about it. Like, all right, how you meant to be like? How's it meant to be GTA like open world, free roam, like RPG style game when you're a student? At some point, you're gonna have to graduate. At some point, the summer holidays are gonna come. Like, there has to be an endpoint with a game like that, right? Where like you can't just stay at the school forever, and like it doesn't make sense. So whereas GTA is like, oh man, you're a criminal, you can wake up every single day and start just killing people. Like, it is what it is. So yeah, I'm curious, and I don't know, man. Like, how would they do Avatar without a narrative? That's what I'm curious about. And I'm not saying that they can't.
Even like a open world RPG, like GTA has a narrative, right? So
yes,
everything has a narrative. Like you can't not have.
But I mean, like, it doesn't end. It does, like a Last of Us. A Last of Us has an end point.
Yeah,
it's like once you have the end point, you can't play like, oh, let me just run around. It's like, if you want to play again, you start the story again and you play it through again. So I think it's different like that. So yeah, man, I'm interested. Ubisoft is doing it. I don't know how I feel about Ubisoft.
Ubisoft are also though one of the ones that have been open to NFTs and have had a lot of flack on them. This isn't actually an NFT game, but you know, that's also an interesting side.
Yeah.
Ubisoft is also a big company, so they have a lot of different studios. They have a lot of different. So like, it's almost like anything that they do that's bad, like, isn't necessarily going to be reflected in this. Game companies are very good at recreating themselves. We'll see how it is though, right?
Yeah. I'm interested to see how it goes, honestly. The one thing is, like you said, they've taken quite a long time to build it out. And the thing is, it's like, yo, I don't know, maybe it's just like, it's crazy because I'm honestly just usually super optimistic. But at the same time, it's like, man, we're being screwed over so many times by gaming companies. Even with Hogwarts Legacy, as much as I'm like, yo, it's going to be amazing, a part of me is like,
you have to be skeptical with these huge games.
They might fuck it up. Yeah.
It's really easy for a game to have a lot of, and that's why they don't pump out so many games, because every new game is a huge risk. Like, it's so easy for sentiment to just not like it.
Yeah. Exactly. And like, again, like these, like Cyberpunk has been like that, the idea, the concept of Cyberpunk is such like, it's so near to so many people, right? So it's like, it's so easy. If it's somewhat skewed or fucked up, they're gonna hate you for it. If it's like a random Bob the Builder game, like no one's gonna care. But it's like, yo, Cyberpunk, people love that shit. Like Harry Potter. People love Harry Potter. Like if you fuck that game up, you are getting death threats. You are getting these worst emails. Like that is what's gonna happen. Like Avatar, same thing. Like, man, if you mess this up, people love this shit. Like so many people say that this is their favorite movie of all time. Like it's
a legendary movie. I think I saw it like 3 times in cinema. It's in cinema right now. Like they just put it out in cinema again. I was looking at the cinema roster for the week and I was like, what? Avatar? What? I thought it was out in December. Oh, it's the first one. Yeah, like
I
that shit was in cinema for like a year, bro. That was the longest.
It was a banger.
That was insane. It was insane.
It was a banger. Yeah, I'd watched it. I'd watched it on TV, like at home. I watched it at home the first time, and then I told one of my homies, and I was like, "Oh, dude, I only watched it at home." And he's like a huge movie buff. He's like, "You've only watched it at home," like hella judging me. He's like, "You haven't watched it then?" I'm like, "Yo, what do you mean?" He's like,
I watched it in 2D, then I watched it 3D in cinema, and then like by the end of the year they released like 3D extended edition, and I watched that as well.
Oh, crazy!
Yeah,
right. Yes. So I watched it. I watched it at home, the first one, and then my homie's like, "Yo, you need to watch it in IMAX," and I'm like, "All right, whatever." Because I didn't know what the hell IMAX was. The first IMAX movie I watched was Endgame. Avengers Endgame was the first IMAX. I was like, "Oh shit, this is real. Like IMAX is real." But so I watched Avatar IMAX. That was sick. And then the third time I watched it, I was like, all right, cool. I told my homie, I was like, all right, so now we've seen IMAX. Let's watch it in 4D. So in China, 4D cinemas are massive. Like every cinema has a 4D cinema. So it's like, have you been in a 4D cinema where like they have the air and the smells?
Once for the Lion King movie, like the more recent one.
Oh, sick. Yeah, I think I watched 4D Lion King as well. Yeah. Yeah, man. Most movies now, I want to go watch 4D, but my wife's like, nah. She hates it. Like, I watched, the one I hated.
No, but like, did the chair move and shit as well?
Yeah. I love it.
I think it's novel, but I can't do that too much because that's long.
Yeah. And I was like, for most movies, I was like, oh, it's cool. Like for Avatar, it was cool. It wasn't too bad. But man, worst mistake. I watched the newest Jurassic World movie in 4D. Yo, I swear to God, before going in, I was like, oh, it'll be hilarious. Like every dinosaur said, boom, boom, boom. It'll be good. I swear to God, in the first 3 minutes, I was like, nah, bad decision.
Was it just really annoying or what?
Yo, I swear to God, man. I was like, the first time, I'm like, oh, it's exciting. 3 minutes in, I was like, yo, stop. It's like, just let me sit down.
Was
like,
it just constant, non-stop?
Constant. And then you'd have a break for like 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and it'd be like, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, oh my God. And like, because it's everything. The planes, the bikes, the cars, everything.
Whoever had to put all the work in to set that up took time, fam.
It was stupid.
That's long.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you got. I like it when it's like, you know, every like 5 minutes they'll throw a little something in there, you know. But like, you want to be able to sit and watch.
When it's calm. Yeah, when it's calm and there's an action scene, it's like, oh, let me go hand and then relax again.
Yeah.
But that's
like a roller coaster.
Like, there was one. Yeah, there was one action scene in that movie in Jurassic World where it was like where they're in the like black market or some shit. And yo, that was just the most intense because like you.
That was an intense scene. I saw that scene in cinema. That was intense without 4D, fam.
Dude, so imagine that. It's like everything is like boom, 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 and then at the end they just stop. Like, you know that feeling? They just take you, and then they just stop. And I just looked at my wife. I was like, yo, fuck me,
bro.
Like,
you've been on roller coasters, right?
Just happened. I hate roller coasters, fam. I hate roller coasters.
I was just thinking,
I have been on them.
Imagine going on a roller coaster and for some reason you were strapped in for 2 hours and it just kept going.
Yeah. That's honestly
what
it was like. That's what that movie was like. It was a fucking roller coaster. It really was. But yeah, I do recommend 4D to most people though. It is good fun. It is good.
That's insane. Oh shit, bro, Avatar was released in 2009. That was 13 years ago, bro. I was
ages ago. Yeah.
Wait, how old was I? I was 11 years old, fam.
Yeah,
fam, I was 11 years old.
Oh, that's wild.
Bro, that's more than half my life ago.
That's mad. Yeah.
I was 11 years old when it came out. Probably 12 when I saw it the last time. Jesus.
I graduated high school.
Who the hell took me to see it 3 times? That's what I'm wondering. I don't even remember.
Actually, insane. I think this is actually a really, really good segue. Now that we've actually went from games to movies, I think this is a really, really good segue into the movie that I know I'm fucking excited for. Community. Absolutely. Yo, 6 seasons and a movie, fam. Like, yo, this honestly changed my life. This show changed my life. By far, to this day, people say Friends, people say How I Met Your Mother, people say The Office. For me, Community, hands down, like without fail. Like, where does Community sit for you, man? Honestly, I'll say, so for me, it was Community number 1, How I Met Your Mother number 2, and then Office number 3. Those are the 3, like, in terms of like those sitcom type vibes. For you, what would you say?
I mean, it's definitely up there. I don't think I have enough of a ranking system to rank them. If you know what I mean.
I made that off the top, man. I made that off the top.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I don't have a fucking top 3 sitcoms, but
I made that off the top.
I've got to say, it probably my top 3 in no particular order will actually be Community, also The Office. Although I watched it so long ago that I don't even remember a lot of it. But it was, I remember it being sick and I enjoyed the ride. And then there's, what's the one? Parks and Rec. Oh,
I never watched that one. Yeah.
So Community and Parks and Rec, I've only watched them within the last like year and a half or so. And it's like, I came super late to them, binged them all on Netflix and really enjoyed them. Parks and Rec is probably like my least on that list though. So, my wife though is addicted to Friends. So if she doesn't have anything to watch or anything to do, Friends is on my fucking living room TV like 90% of the time that it's on. Like literally. Yeah. She's seen that shit. I've seen so many scenes over and over again just by walking into that room. It's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those comfort things. And that's what it is for me with Community as well, man. Like I'll be working and if I don't have music on, I'll just have Community on the side, just playing. Yeah, it's crazy. But honestly, I won't lie about the Office thing as well. I actually only started watching Office this year as well. I was super late on it, but fuck, I love that shit, man.
It's sick. It's sick. It's timeless.
It's so funny. Yeah. But some of the jokes, it's so funny. Man. It's just so like, if it was going, like, if people watched it today and they were like as sensitive as they are today, yo, they'd be like, yo, what is this shit? All of these shows actually. But no, man, Community, legitimately, I don't know, like, yeah, you weren't a part of it back in the day, man. Dude, do you know what happened in Community? Like, actually? So,
No.
like, do you know why this? Do you know why this movie is such a big deal?
I read the article that you sent me, and I was like, wait, what is this about six seasons of a movie? Like, where's this coming from?
Yeah.
They didn't say that in the thing. Did they say that?
Yeah. So, okay, so this is the crazy thing, man. So, of like, do you know the writer Dan Harmon?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
Yeah,
I don't know him personally.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you know of him, yeah. So Dan Harmon is the writer of Rick and Morty as well, and obviously that's like insane, right? So this guy is like a genius writer. Like a lot of the way that stories are written are based on his like circle, like storytelling circle kind of like progression, right?
Yeah.
He kind of like coined it. He did like he's amazing. Anyway, so he did Community, and like every season they were gonna cancel like the show every season. So season 1, they were like, all right, we're gonna cancel it. I think season 1 was fine. Season 2 was fine. After season 2, they're like, all right, we're gonna cancel it. The Community actually pushed back and we're like, yo, we want more, we want more. Season 3 got approved. Season 3, yo, we're gonna cancel it. Season 4 got approved. But Dan Harmon was fired. So like in the episode, like in the actual show, they always say gas leak here, like because the gas leak here was the 4th season because it was such shit writing. Like everything was so bad that like they make fun of it in the show. We're like, oh, that happened in the gas leak here. Oh, Annie did this in the gas leak here. And that's because Dan Harmon was fired from season 4 because it was so shit. They almost got canceled again.
And did they get him back though?
They got back again for season 5.
But did Dan Harmon do season 5?
Yeah, Dan Harmon came back for season 5, and then they really got canceled at season 5. And so in season 2, there was an episode, like just a small thing, like a moment where like Jeff was saying some shit to Abed, and Abed's like runs away. He's like, six seasons in a movie.
The show's gonna last 3 weeks. 6 seasons in a movie.
Like legitimately, just a flat, like just
That's
a statement.
Randomly.
And the community ran with it, like, yo, 6 seasons in a movie. And ever since season 2, when they were gonna get canceled, it was like 6 seasons in a movie, 6 seasons in a movie. pushed it. So season 5, they got canceled, and Yahoo legitimately, like, I think a year later, bought the rights for the show on the Yahoo TV show or some shit, streaming shit. It was like dead, like. But the fact that they made Community for that 1 season, I loved it. Some people don't like it, but I thought it was cool. But yeah, so they made that. They canceled it all. Like they ended it after that. And then yeah, now it's like it says it was rounded up in 2015. So this is seven years later. 7 years later, the prophecy of 6 seasons in a movie is fulfilled. Like this is a massive, massive thing for Community fans.
6 seasons in a movie.
Like and Donald Glover, like all of these guys are so big now, man. Like Ken Jeong is obviously doing crazy shit. Yvette, like Shirley Brown, like has lost hella weight. Like yo, if you understand the backstory of all the shit that was happening, crazy. Like Donald Glover is obviously like huge. Lando Calrissian and shit now. Like he's massive, like Simba. Like he's like Disney star now.
The thing is, though, Donald Glover is one of the few that aren't confirmed. I think 3 of them aren't confirmed. Which 3?
I think it was 2.
Original stars Yvette Nicole Brown and Donald Glover. Yeah. Wait, which one is Yvette Nicole Brown?
Shirley. Shirley is Yvette Nicole Brown.
Shirley's not confirmed. Right.
Yeah, so Shirley's not confirmed because she had to leave because she had like a family issue with her father or some shit. I mean, like he was sick, so she had to. That's why she left the show.
Right.
And then Donald Glover obviously was doing his other things. But yeah, so I think Yvette might be pulling through, possibly, potentially. I think, like I say, I'm hoping Donald pulls through because having a movie without Troy and Abed just doesn't make sense.
Troy and Abed in the morning. Troy and Abed in the morning.
Yeah. Like, yo, cool. Like, yo, no. I love that shit. But yeah, as for Chevy Chase, I don't think he's gonna come back. It makes no sense for him to come back. He left on like hella bad terms, and they physically killed his character off. So yeah, I
Is
don't
Chevy
think he's gonna come
Chase
back.
the older guy?
Yeah, Pierce.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
do you know much about Chevy Chase? Because Chevy Chase was like a massive, massive star before Community. He was like a massive TV and movie star before Community. And he was always like a diva, apparently. Stories. And he was like, man, all these long hours.
What's funny is that Pierce was actually like that as a character.
Yeah, he wasn't acting. He wasn't acting. Like he was actually feeling these things. Yeah, because like I don't know if you know this, but making TV shows is actually much longer than making a movie. Like the hours that go into making a TV show is much longer than a movie.
Obviously.
Yeah,
and it's just like multiple movies, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, when you think about it, it's like, oh, it's 30 minutes. An episode is 30 minutes. Why does it take?
There's a lot of editing and there's a lot of scenes in there.
Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. But yeah, anyway, so it's crazy shit. I'm fucking excited, man. I legit could talk about legit. It's my favorite show of all time. So,
well, I really hope Donald Glover comes back into it. Should we talk a bit about Atlanta? You've seen that, right?
Yeah, Atlanta, crazy. I mean, like, again, talk to me, man. Like, because Donald Glover is legit top 5 most influential people in my life. So, like, I love his shit. So, I mean, I'm curious to know what your take on it. Take on all of this is.
I've heard like some of his songs back in the day. I remember This Is America. This is America. Like watching that video like 20 times, just trying to figure out what the hell is going on here. It like that was like, I think he spent like $1 million producing that one music video, and it's like a 4-minute video or some shit, and it's like, it's a masterpiece. It's a work of art. It's amazing. And then like cycle forward to like a year ago or something where I actually watched Community. I finished watching Community and I was like, I want more of Donald Glover. Where that at? And I was just randomly on Disney Plus and I see Atlanta and I'm like, that's Donald Glover with a peach in his mouth. What's that about? So I clicked.
Do you know why they have the peach?
I don't know. They have the peach? No. Oh wait, isn't Atlanta famous for peaches? Like, don't they like have like loads of? Yeah. And then I started watching it, and I was like, this is my kind of like the way that it's filmed, and also like it's so truthful, right? I didn't feel like I had like a good insight into like genuine, almost like black culture in America. Like there isn't like a very, because there's just like there's comedy out there, and then there's like what other people say about it, but it felt real. It felt like it was real. By the end, it felt beyond even like it just went like super meta, and it just went kind of nuts, which I love. Like the episode where the girl that's like his baby mama, like where she just is like some random French like killer. Have you seen that one? Wait, what?
I haven't watched the last couple. I've watched the first 2 seasons. Shit. And honestly, I won't watch any of the other ones.
Why?
Until I go home and I can smoke some weed. I don't want to watch it until I can smoke some weed. I want to smoke some weed and watch that shit.
No, fair play, bro. Fair play. I can appreciate that. But all in all, I absolutely loved it. What's your feelings on it though, from what you've seen?
Oh man, I love it, man. Again, because like I used to write screenplays, and like I used to love like understanding and studying film and TV and shit like that. And again, I just love the whole like, it's very like his style is very, like you say, it's very authentic. Like you see sitcoms and you have the laugh tracks. It's like it's very like it's not real. And it's like with this, the thing that I loved about it was Donald's style is very authentic plus surreal. It's like
I love the surreal.
He finds a way to and it's amazing. It's like there's that one scene where at the very like one of the early things was where the guy's like on the little motorized thingamajiggy, and it's like the way it's shot is you don't see his legs, but you can tell the way he's moving is kind of like unnatural. and it's just like, oh, what the hell? And then like you zoom out, and then you see what's going on. It's like, oh, like it kind of makes sense. And then like just random things about like, oh, the invisible car, and it's like, oh, like they make the joke about the invisible car, and then at the end of the episode, like people get hit by an invisible car, and it's like it's
for real,
like,
and it's like,
yeah. And it's just like it's very hip hop. It's very hip hop. It's very like, again, authentically hip hop of like real life stories, real struggles, but at the same time like superhero like and like absurd and surreal. And that's what I love. It's like it's so crazy, like because like you have absurdism, which is not real, and then what he's doing is pure authentic with absurdism, and it's very like my favorite episode was the Teddy Perkins episode. Do you know that one? Where it's like the guy, like the Michael Jackson spinoff?
Yeah. That one, like, I was like, am I watching a horror movie?
Right then. Excuse me.
That one was deep.
Sick.
That one was mad.
Do you know who?
There isn't even a clear conclusion.
Do you know?
As in, like,
yeah. And that's why I love it. I love it, and that's Donald's thing, right? Of like, life is kind of like that.
It's a very hard thing. I can imagine. No, you can't! You have no idea!
Like,
even if you don't watch any Atlanta, you should watch just that Teddy Perkins episode. Just because that's a standalone piece. It's just a piece of art.
Yeah,
it's not.
Honestly, like, it's sick. And that's what I love, because like his whole philosophy is, man, life doesn't really have a meaning. We kind of just do shit. Like, there's no like beautiful ending at the end. It's just we do things. And that's what I love about each episode. It's not like, oh, you start here, you finish here. Oh, I get this. It's like things happen. Life happens. And things move. Like
that's why I like I think you put it really well when you said that it's like surrealism essentially mixed with realism, because like life often feels surreal, and when like
and that's why
crazy shit's happening, like you just feel like this disconnect with like your intuition and like morals and like what makes sense and then what's actually just happened, and it's like, how the fuck is this happening? And it's like, this is, and he paints that really well, and it very much is hip hop, but also like, especially, it's like as you said, like life is just absurd often, like it's surreal. It is,
and that's what's crazy about it. But yeah, yo, about the Teddy Perkins thing, man. Do you know who is acting as Teddy Perkins?
Yeah, it's him. It's Donald Glover, right?
Yeah, it's Donald Glover. Yeah. It's mental. It's mental.
I thought for a second I was crazy, like, did I misunderstand? Like,
no. It was Donald Glover. It was Donald Glover. Yeah, it was Donald Glover acting. It was just crazy.
For anyone that hasn't seen that, I'll put it up on screen. Like, he's white.
Yeah,
he's white.
Yeah. It's like, yo,
he plays a white guy,
and that story, that whole story, yeah. And like when he went to the what's the award show for the for TV? I don't know what it was, but he had someone Emmys or some shit. Yeah. He legitimately had someone dressed as Teddy Perkins. So like there was a Teddy Perkins walking around the show, which was hilarious. And everyone thought it was Donald Glover. And then he kind of popped up and he was like, oh no, I'm standing next to him. It was pretty fun. It was just hilarious. Donald doing Donald things, but hilarious. Yeah, man. Yeah, so Community, Donald Glover, massive fan. Like, yo, legit. If I could ever meet him, man, holy shit. I would give him his flowers. Like, savant. Like, actual savant.
No, totally a savant.
Like,
what he shows is as well, like what you can just do when you just decide, like he's just a creator, you know, he'll just create shit, and it doesn't matter in what sphere. It's just like, I really want to make this and I want to make it good and I want to make it properly, and he'll just make it. He's obviously had success, which has afforded him the like opportunities to create that, but I think people underestimate like how opportunities can stack and how you can be creating exactly what you want to be creating if you just do it. Pretty much, like you could almost make something like what he does, or like do you know what I mean? Like you could direct that shit with your own like camera, your own crew, and all that. Obviously, it's almost impossible to pull off without like a really dedicated team to make it at that like quality. But you can be creating anything at the level that you're at, and that's the thing that
all you need is a team. Honestly, like a dedicated team that's down for the vision. That's it. Like back in the day before he popped off, like Donald Glover popped off online doing like YouTube skits before skits were a thing.
Yeah.
Like that's how he blew up. And there was a movie he made with his homies back in the day. It was like Derek Comedy Club or some shit. And there was a movie that he made. Man, I forget the name, but it was like a really shitty detective movie, like a child detective movie. And it was like really, really bad. Like maybe once we're done with this, like do the research and find it and put it up. But it was a really bad like movie. But it's like they did it. They as a team worked together and put something out, like a full-fledged like feature-length film. So anyone can do it, man. Fucking iPhones, man. We all have iPhones, and we have like a gimbal and shit. It's not hard. You can stabilize the camera now. You have tripods and gimbals. Like it's not that, and everyone can have a microphone and shit. It's not.
I think
hella difficult anymore.
One of the pieces that a lot of people miss though is like if you want to do something, people get lost in all the things that they're gonna need to make that thing. And what ends up happening is you spend the next month, 6 months, year practicing skills that don't help you achieve your goals, but you're practicing skills to try and get some material things that you think are going to help you to actually create what you want to create. And then the problem there is you're now somebody that has no experience or practice in the sphere that you wanted to be moving towards. Whereas if you literally just start with whatever you've got right now, whatever you want to do, whether that's writing, like movie creating, like skits, like anything, you can be doing it like on the level that you're at, whether that's like, you know, any sphere, you can do it at the level you're at so that you're practicing it now, and then you're actually getting better at it and progressing rather than like you shouldn't prepare too much. And if you've been doing that for years and years, just practicing in the now with what you've got available, the resources will come to you, and because you've also got the experience and expertise to actually be able to utilize those resources, right?
Yep, 100%, man. And actually, I really want to ask you, man. I really want you to share this as well. How did you start? Because people look at us now, like they can't see my setup, but I've got a pretty decent setup, and you've got a solid setup as well, clearly. What did you actually start off with? In your first ever video, talk to us. What did you start off with?
So go to my YouTube channel, link in the description. I was in a hotel room in Spain on holiday for my 2-week anniversary. Like when it comes to my Illuvium YouTube stuff, I literally had this phone right here, and my wife just filmed me, and I was just reading off a page, and that's where I came up with I'm Vetamore, you're the future, I'll see you guys there. I wrote an entire little script, I created it, came back to England from like while I was on my honeymoon. I spent my whole honeymoon like 8 hours a day on Discord. That's when I found out about Illuvium. By the end of those 2 weeks, I was all in on Illuvium basically. But then coming back, like I just had a little laptop. I didn't have a good cam. I had like this old mic, and I didn't have a stand for my mic. And I was a builder at the time. So you know the things that you like scrape the walls with? I had a wall, like a thin wall scraper that I stuck with tape onto my mic. So if you look at any of my old videos with me like on the side, under the just beneath the thing, it was like me just like holding this thing, but like just underneath, and you just see the mic. You just see the mic on screen, and it's like says Rode, so it looks a bit pro. But I was filming just with the webcam on my laptop. Like that's it. Crazy. That's it. I just got a gun here, bro.
Legitimately, like the thing that I started recording with was not just my phone; it was the front camera.
Yeah.
Because I had to see what I look like. I legit put it in front of me like this.
Yeah.
Like this, and then the front camera was facing me, and I would just kind of record like that. And I'd have to like press it, record, And yo, like editing was a headache, fam, because like I couldn't screen capture, right? Like I'd have to like record it. I'd be looking at my thing, looking at my phone, and trying to do it was like, oh man, it was just a headache. But again, that's how you start. And I was like, man, people have seen me in my my original videos.
I don't know what kind of edits you were trying to do, but like I used to have before this YouTube channel, I used to have a YouTube channel as well. So this isn't like my first YouTube channel. I literally made a YouTube channel, didn't tell any of my friends about it, and I was literally just like sharing my thoughts about like just different subjects, like self-improvement, different shit. And I was literally just filming myself on selfie mode and editing it with iMovie. Like it's that chill. Like
I did a bit more editing when I started, just because I actually learned editing in university when I went, and also again, as a dancer, me and my brother, like me and my friends, we kind of had to know how to edit and shit. So we already kind of had that knowledge of like how do we make audio sound better, like in editing, how do we level that shit. We kind of had that information. So that's why I don't know. For me, like coming in, I honestly, I don't think I've ever said this, but honestly, like from the very beginning, my first video, my goal was like, even though I didn't have the proper like equipment and I didn't even think about it, but I was like, editing wise, I want to be up there with you and Vulcan, because you guys were the guys that were big at the time. I was like, all right, I need to be better than you guys in editing. Like straight off the bat, I was like, because I had the skills. I already knew I had the skills. I was like, all right, I just need to put this shit out. Yeah, so that was, I kind of had that. I always had that kind of mentality of like,
well,
yo, I want to be
before
better.
we wrap this up, I want to pose to you, how can we test our editing skills? Because I think I'm a better editor than you. So,
yeah,
but like, oh, no. But like, all I want to say is, can we just make a video, like a challenge? Who can make the better edited video? And each make a video on X subject. Make it like a 3-minute video, like a really simple subject matter that's super simple to make, like a short video.
But I mean, like we can do it. But at the same time, it's like, what consists, like what does it mean to be a better
Yeah, we have different styles. We have different styles as well, right? Yeah. Right. It's true.
It's like,
true. It's impossible to say. It's impossible to say.
Yeah, would you say like Tiffany and Co has good design? Like it's not creative. Like,
no, it's
all
not.
of these like Hugo Boss, so they have good design. Not really. It's very bland, but that's classy, right? So
that's like your editing.
Yeah.
You know, it's a bit bland, but it's classy, and mine's actually creative and involved.
Yeah, so mine's for the upper echelon of people is essentially
upper echelons.
No. Yeah, no. Again, and everyone's got a different style, right? But like you're right, because it's hard. But I'm down. I'm down to do shit like that. I'm definitely down. I reckon it'd be cool. Again, I'm not gonna say no to competition. 100%. But yo, all right. Let's while we brainstorm this, we'll do that off camera. But yo, let's wrap this up. We're trying to make these videos a little bit shorter as well. Kind of just get straight to the point, have a bit of bants, and kind of just chop it up and then see where it goes. But yeah, dude, I think the topics we covered today was sick. I'm actually really happy with that. Dude, well, do you have anything you want to kind of say before we wrap this up?
I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks for coming along. Definitely hit a like and subscribe to TSG's channel.
Yeah, you guys know what to do, man. All right, peace out.
Sweet.